We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys. A couple of 2-1 teams set to square off, and we're underway here in NFL Week 4.
Let's go, folks.
Everybody, 54 is Mike. Check, watch 54, watch 54.
Watch the run.
They run it for the first time with Tony Pollard. Space to maneuver at the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, it was. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, there's your first ROI, right? Return on investment of their first-round pick. His first NFL sack. I know they want him to be an impact player right out of the gate.
A lot of pressure to put on a young man, but I think you agree he has the ability to deliver on it.
And he just did. Probably the first of many sacks in a long career.
So a tough early challenge here, 2nd and long after the sack. Throwing, Prescott, flush to his right. Got an open man, it's Michael Gallup. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for 3rd down.
Come on, QB, come on. Hey, check Mike 33, check Mike 33. I'm not ready.
Prescott on 3rd and 2. And he'll have his man, that's Cooper. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20.
Right there.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. And this one complete to Reed. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A good-looking drive for the Cowboys so far. It's a 1st down. On the RPO, Prescott's going to keep it himself. Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Opening drive fumble and the 4 miscues that they had last week. 4 turnovers, Charles. So this is a bad trend.
And, Brandon, you and I both know that they didn't just ignore what happened last week. They focused on it, tried to get better. And when it happens here again in this game, the head coach is going to see that as a direct reflection on his message to the team, and it's not sinking in.
And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
Right there.
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they'll be looking to atone for last time's mistake of fumbling inside the red zone. Certainly they don't want to do that again.
And so much emphasis placed on red zone offense. I mean, you have periods devoted in practice just for that because everyone knows how vital it is to put points on the board when you've entered that part of the field. And to come away with nothing, that's difficult for a team to handle.
And difficult, and now we'll see if they can make it less difficult on themselves on this drive. Gets by him, and now a little daylight. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Cowboys. Tony Pollard, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
This is fielded at the goal line. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Wentz. Gonna throw right side here. Complete. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a 1st down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Switch it. Go. Ram. Here we go.
Now Wentz. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. The threat of a 2nd straight punt to start the game is looming as they come up 3rd and 10.
Hey, exit.
Now Wentz again, and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37, gain of 9. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, it's working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the first. One thing's for sure, this defense has to figure out how to stop the ground game. He's eating them up here in the first quarter.
It looks like they have to go to different forces, aren't they? The conventional things aren't working too well. So I remember a coach of mine saying way back when a back's having a great game, you've got to get the ball out of his hands. See how far he can run without the ball. And what he meant was takeaways, knock it loose, because maybe you can't just stop him with just regular tackling.
A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. On 2nd down, it's Pollard. And he's got room. The 20. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized it.
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
And he will be taken down here as the first quarter of play will come to an end. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with 3rd down looming.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. Got what he needed for the first down with a gain of 2.
First down, Eagles.
Hey, here we go. 180. Right, 54. Crunch time, defense.
Right there, 54, right there, 54, Mike. Let's go, D. Let's go.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Hey, Zoo.
To throw is Wentz. And he fires one that's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 47. And it's a huge return as he brings this all the way back down to the 15-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals, and if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through. And it's now 21-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
He's crashing. He's checking crash.
On the run, it's Kelly. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. On 2nd and 11 now. Wentz. Going right side here, and that's complete. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops it.
Trying for the tight end, Ertz, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Cowboy defense has a touchdown. That pick 6 extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they? Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Wentz. He's going to rifle one deep left side. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
He's checking. Crash.
Check four.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. Now he'll let it go deep over the middle. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Earlier in the quarter when the defense was keying on the run, you said offensively they need to open things up, take some shots downfield. Didn't work there, but they did it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change my tune now. I still think it's the right play because when you take those shots downfield, you open the eyes of the defense to what you could do to them, and that may open some things up for you offensively.
There we go. Check. Watch 54. We're going to 54.
They'll run on 1st down. Pollard. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Play action now. Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Michael Gallup, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Zuerlein connects on the extra point, and the rout is on here in this first half.
35, Eagles nothing.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And with still more than a minute to go in the half, time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You could never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wentz, and for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35, and he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
You're trailing, you're trying to get points late in half. I absolutely understand that. But remember, it's all about the ball. And without the ball, you can't get those points. They just turned it over.
Now you got to be careful because that deficit can get a little bigger on the other side with that good field position they just took over with. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. 2 first-half touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott as his guys continue to pour it on.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before that.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to record his 5th sack of the season.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
82, 82. Hey, we're good, we're good.
Now Wentz. And he finds a man on the crossing route. And they work this well upfield across the 45. 27 yards there, a first down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30.
Check 43. Check your hot read. Whip. Watch the whip.
And they'll try the jet sweep here. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A big pickup there for the Eagles' first down, 18 yards.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Lefty. Sunday. Watch the slant. Motion.
From midfield, here's Wentz. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 45. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far, they've come up empty on. They'll look to and he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Punching it in from a yard away. And the Cowboys use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Zerline good with a PAT, and that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, "Wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys."
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 47.
Hey, check. Hey, kill. Hey, forward, kill. Here, sit. Know your job.
From the gun, it's Wentz. Throwing right, and that's complete. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? On 1st down, Wentz. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time.
82,
54, right there. 54, Mike.
Bravo.
Wentz will try again on 2nd down. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. So back-to-back incompletions. 3rd down here in 10, but you're still in field goal range.
And that's the thing to keep in mind. They're in field goal range. So now you don't take any unnecessary risks, but you try and find a way to get back to what you were doing earlier in the drive in order to finish this one off.
Wentz going to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
So on comes the Eagle kicker, Jake Elliott, on 4th down. From the right hash, this from an even 40 yards out. And it bangs off the left upright and deflects away. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. And you just kind of get the sense that this team's been snake-bitten a little bit here. They just have not had anything go their way.
It's like they collectively walked under a ladder on their way into the stadium. What else could go wrong?
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Play fake. Here's Prescott. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves?
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. This is Kelly. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. Now Kelly. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 34. It's a gain of 16 and an Eagle first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Come get some. Come on here. Come get some. He don't want it. Switch, switch, switch.
Shotgun now for Wentz. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
To throw again on 2nd down. Wentz, and he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 20-yard line. That is catch number 300 now for his NFL career. Finally, a first red zone opportunity for these guys. 1st and 10 right at the 20. To throw, it's Wentz. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. This will be a 5-yard pickup as they move it from the 20 to the 15.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Great 15. Great 15. Put that team on the box. Check, check. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Check, check. Fresno, Fresno, Fresno. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got double up, double up. 54's Mike, 54's Mike. Check, check, watch 54, watch 54.
Again, it's Wentz. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Bit of a surprise. They ran it on 3rd and medium. Proved to be the right call. 1st and 10.
Hey, go. 120. We're pretty quiet, D. We're pretty quiet. Safe. 36.
Oh, how about this on 1st and goal? And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
Leads to 2nd and goal at the Cowboys' 6-yard line.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. Throwing is Wentz. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does, is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. The kick by Elliott is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg. And they're at least trying to finish out strong.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Now on 2nd and 13, Prescott. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Fletcher Cox in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. So they decline it as that will bring up 4.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. And for an offense that is struggling, this is not where you want to start from. Great punt.
Fantastic punt. And for all those who wonder, what do punters do during the course of practice each and every day? The best ones do what we just saw there. Work on positioning the football and helping their team.
Check 3, check 3, check 3. Check 99, check 99. Watch the edge. Lion.
Wentz now on 1st down. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line. Darren Lee leading the surge there as he drops him for a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Army. List 5-7. Hey, one set. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Kill. Turn it up. Kill.
Here's Wentz to throw. And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
At the 24-yard line.
Here's Pollard again. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
And the Cowboys first down. 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Today's final score.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Cowboys, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.